Hello, my name is Natalie, and I'm here to talk to you about our company, Scrunchie Sensation. It is called a Scrunchie Sensation because we make scrunchies, which is a type of hair ties, and we use ribbons and silk also. And using silk has two main advantages. One of them is that it is currently highly sought out in the market, as it is seen as being good for the hair. And the second thing is that it is seen as quite luxurious, which then helps us with marketing our product as being luxurious, which then in turn helps with our margins because we can set higher prices. Another thing that helps with our margins that are currently 30% is the fact that we are set in the Czech Republic, but we sell our product to boutiques in Germany, which then helps us set higher prices with lower direct labor costs. We start out with 4 employees. However, we do not start producing at full capacity right away, but we get to our full capacity or almost full capacity of production at around the year 4. So we will then expand, but for our plan for 4 years, we are good with just our 4 employees. And that's, I think, all from me. Okay.
So hello, my name is Sam, and I'm going to be presenting on our company's profitability, liquidity, and overall value. I will talk through key highlights of our income statement, cash budget, and our analysis for capital budgeting. So for our net income, in year 1, it was around 1.3 million Czech crowns, and it was showing a stable increase each year. So the annual growth rate was 19% from year 1 to year 2, 28 from year 2 to year 3, and from year 3 to our last year 4, it was 32%. And at the end of the 4th year, the net income was around 2.6 million. And clearly these numbers show that our project has high profitability and also high ability to generate high returns each year. So for our cash budget, in the first semi-annual period, our cash balance reached around 3 million. And there in our last, which was 8th semi-annual period, our ending balance reached around 9 million. And the cash flow was constantly increasing each semi-annual period. And by collecting 80% of the sales in our first semi-annual period and our 20% in upcoming semi-annual period, we will cover all our expenses and maintain a positive cash flow. And this split was very helpful in the beginning periods. To conclude, from the cash budget, we can see that our company has had a constant positive cash flow throughout the years, and also it has high liquidity, and therefore it has a great potential for the future, and it also enables fast returns on the investments. And for our capital budgeting, our company has no loans since it was funded by owner's equity. Each owner put in the same amount of 1 million Czech crowns. And since it was our investment, it was a big motivator to get a fast return, which can be seen in our payback period. And we were able to repay in just 2.5 years. And with discounted payback, it was around 2.9 years. The net present value of our company is 1.8 million Czech crowns, which shows that earnings are larger than our costs, meaning that our company is very healthy. And the perpetuity of over 29 million and net present value perpetuity of 17 million shows that our project has very significant potential for high returns in the future. And additionally, our project value is 19 million Czech crowns, which is very solid for investors in Czech. And lastly, but I think it's the most important thing, our IRR is 31%, which shows the investors that investment in our company is very safe.
Hello, my name is Joey Barta, and today I'm going to be talking to you about our financial analysis for Scrunchie Sensation. So our return on equity is a very healthy 40 to 50% for all 4 years, which is indicative of the company paying its equity off within that first 2 years. As we know, the three partners invested totally 3 million crown at the start of the company. So after those 2 years, that has been paid off. Moving on to the net profit margin, this stays around 40% for all 4 years as well, meaning that the company consistently earns around 40 crown profit for every 100 crown it collects. This is a very healthy figure for a company of this size and maturity, and we also look for this amount to increase over the company's lifespan as efficiency increases and the brand's name is more well renowned across Germany. Looking at the gross profit margin, this stays consistent around 70% for all 4 years. This is a sign that the fixed overhead costs don't overwhelm the variable costs, and there is no inflation over the period, which is something that we would be interested in calculating in the future to make for a more accurate cash budget. Looking at the days sales outstanding, since the company's DSO is around 9, that's a sign that our company is very diligent in receiving payables from the retailers. This is likely because the relationship between the businesses are strictly professional. Payment plans are agreed upon contractually, and because we have such consistent distributors, there's not really anything to worry about for payments. So we can keep this very consistent to keep good relationships with our distributors. Days payable outstanding is a very reasonable 70 days, which is acceptable given that the company outsources a limited amount of materials and supplies. So the cost of that debt is minimal. So we can keep that a little bit higher so that we can move our money to elsewhere in case we need it. Days inventory on hand. So the company doesn't need the added expense of storage, especially given that we're located in a small, essentially apartment in Prague. So having that additional storage space would just be an added expense for the company that we don't necessarily need, especially because we are outsourcing all of our scrunchies to distributors in Germany. We don't actually sell any ourselves, so we don't have to worry about any overhead there. So the reason that we do have 10 days of supply is that the business needs to remain in control in case of severe fluctuation in production efficiency or any economic disasters or even changes that could occur during the company's lifespan. Finally, looking at the cash conversion cycle, it's a very low 50 days. This just means that the company generates cash from its operations faster than it needs to pay its suppliers, which is another sign of the company's efficiency. Finally, we're going to look at our CVP. Our break-even point is at 10,500 units and priced at 125 crown for our ideal case scenario. We will look at a margin of safety between our gross revenue and break-even point of around 2.5 million crown. Very acceptable for a company of this size, of a small company, rather. In the case that the company experiences any efficiency issues, especially given that it's a new company, those first 4 years are a little tedious. We have 2.5 million crown to work with. So, and those numbers could also go up. We planned for a optimistic case scenario as well, which is very likely for the company to experience as well. We just don't know that that's the point of the margin of safety here. So that's it for me. Thank you. Bye-bye.